As we prepare for our interview segments, each producer will be required to produce 3 graphics for their interview segment. These graphics can be prepared in Photoshop. In order to ensure the correct formatting, I recommend you select the File New setting on Photoshop, and when it pops up with the screen asking you what dimensions you want to use, select from the first drop-down menu the Film and Video option. But before you click OK, make sure that you select the background color to transparent. This will be very important when you go to import your files in the Deko program. As you save your files, once you have finished them, make sure you save them with the PSD file type, the Photoshop file type. This is something that can be opened in Deko and can be used on the graphics programs. The first graphic that you will produce will be a full screen graphic. This will act as the title card for your interview segment. This should contain the title of the show, and you should leave some space to add the name of the host later with the Deko program. You can also opt for the optional swoosh as your opening graphic. You see this a lot in a lot of morning talk shows. This is cool if you guys want to do it. It's purely optional. You can use the full screen graphic, or you can create the swoosh. Just make sure you've got your background settings set to transparent in Photoshop. Otherwise, it's not going to work right. The remaining 2 graphics you will be required to produce for this segment will be the lower thirds graphics. This is basically when the talent's name appears on the screen. You should create one for the host and one for the guest. They should at least contain their name. You can also put their name and some sort of title applied to them. Make sure you have one for the host and for the guest before it is time to do your interview segment. Once you've completed your graphics using Photoshop, you'll need to import them into the Deko program. To do this, I recommend saving your files onto a thumb drive and then bringing them over to either of the post-Deko computers that are located in the control room. What you'll do, put your thumb drive into the computer, and then you'll open the post-Deko program. It says right here, post-Deko. And then select File, Open. Now I have saved mine on my Lexar thumb drive, so I select it from the drop-down menu here, Lexar. It'll be whatever your drive name is. And if you notice, nothing's showing up except folders. That's because the program is just simply looking for Deko graphics, but you can import everything into this program. So I'm going to select all files, and I'm going to look for my PSD file that's labeled full screen. Remember, PSDs using the film video template and a transparent background. Select Open. There's my full screen. I'll go ahead and maximize this so everybody can see what I'm doing here. Now, what I'll need to do is add a graphic to my full screen with the name of my host. So I'm going to just, right here, with Justin Perot, because I can be my own host, why not? Once I've completed this, I'm going to save this as a graphic, save graphic as from the File menu right here. And I'm going to save it on my Lexar drive. I'm going to create a folder, which I already did, with my name on it. This is very important for later, so make sure you create a folder with your name on it. And I'm going to save this not as full screen 1, but I'm going to save this as 001. Now the reason why we do this, the full screen is going to be my opening video. And so I want it to be first in the numerical sequence on the Deko program. So I select Save. It's going to tell me I already have this because I've already did this earlier. I'm going to select Yes, and it'll save it accordingly. So once I've saved the file, then I'll go ahead and work on my lower thirds. So I'm going to go up here to File, Open. I'm going to go back to my Lexar drive, and I'm going to select All Files, and there's my graphic I've titled Lower Thirds. Click Open, and you see my lower third has popped up here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my name here. Now you may, if you want to, just simply put their name, or you can title them if you would rather do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to
Okay, so once I've got this pretty well where I'm happy with it, I can go ahead and select File, Save Graphic As, and again, I'm going to save this on my jump drive. I'm going to save this as 002 because this will be the next number in my sequence. Select Save. Now we're not done yet because we have to make a lower third graphic for our guest. So we will, again, open our file, same file that we made earlier, lower third, using Photoshop. And we will do the same thing again and put a title there for our guest. Okay, and again, once we're happy with that, save graphic as 003. So once you're done, you should have 3 files, 001, 002, 003. And you can just make them 1, 2, 3. That's fine with me as well. I just use this because you never know how many graphics you're going to need. For this project, you'll only need 3, but just in case. Save. Yes. Once you've done that, then you're ready to go ahead and import these onto the Deko drive. Now, we don't have direct access to the Deko program, so what you have to do is actually put this into a shared folder on the computer itself. So you can go ahead and close out the Deko program. And what you'll need to do, you'll notice right here, and this will be on the other computer as well, there's a folder that says Post Deko folder. If you go ahead and select my computer so I can see my thumb drive, I'm going to go ahead and call up my Lexar drive. Now I have a folder here that says Justin with my name on it, Justin Perot. If you double click on the Post Deko folder, you'll get this window pops up here. If you notice, there's going to be a folder here that says Intro to Video Production. That's our folder for this project. And what you will do is you will take your folder with your 3 graphics and your name on it and drag it and drop it into the Intro to Video Production folder. And that'll lead us to our next step, which is to actually open them on our Deko program and use them for our interviews. Okay, so once we finally get to the Deko itself, once we've completed our graphics, we'll open Deko by double-clicking on the Deko 1000 program. And this takes a few minutes to load up. Once it's loaded, you go to your once it's loaded, you go up here to File, Open, and what I'm going to do is right here click on My Network Places. You notice we get a couple options right here. If you edited your program on Post Deko 2, it'll be located right here. You double click on that, and you see, hey, there's our Intro to Video Production. If you did it on Post Deko 3, you're going to double click on Deko 3. Intro to Video Production. And I'm going to open my folder. It says Justin Perot, and there you can see those 3 files that I had created and saved on the other computer. Go ahead and select Open for my first graphic. And there you see it says Sunrise with Justin Perot. And if I hit the next number in my sequence, there's my host title, and there's my guest title. Now remember, it takes time to create these graphics, so please make sure you have them prepared before it is the day of your interview segment, because we will not sit around and wait for you guys to create the files. And make sure you have them imported correctly and that they are able to be pulled up on the screen. You want to make sure that your CG operator has plenty of time if you have to make any sort of changes or anything of that nature. If you have any sort of problems with producing these graphics and you need some help, feel free to contact myself or Lynn Franklin or Zach Blocker. We will help you with it in any way that we can. Take your time. It doesn't take very long to create these graphics, and it'll really help to enhance the overall quality of the interview. Remember, 3 graphics, full screen, lower thirds, for both the host and the guest. Follow the directions that I gave you, and you should be fine. And good luck.